not to kind of sound like doom and gloom guys, because I don't think that's at all how we feel. It's just a matter of like every once in a while you're picking through like, all right, what's got you worried? I mean, anybody have an answer to that? 803-0550. What's got you really worried? Not they could be better at a spot. I think they could be better at certain spots for sure. But what's got me worried about them? Where do I think the fatal flaw is, if there is one? It's not that easy to find. For some people, that is McDermott. Not for me. I mean, if there's a fatal flaw here somewhere, is it still receivers? Last year I would have gone into the year, and last couple of years I would have gone into the year saying I think they have a flaw at receiver, because going back to Gabe Davis is their number 2, or last year, of course, they're entering training camp with MVS and thinking that's going to work out. I don't think the receiver is a fatal flaw this time. I saw what they did last year. I don't worry about the offensive coordinator. I don't worry about too many things. And what has you worried? Is it hard to find?
It's very hard to find because they are that good.
They're good at a lot of things.
They are good at they have a pretty whole roster that doesn't have, well, tough word then to use there, because I was going to say they don't have many holes. They're a complete roster. So that being said, like when I think of that question, it is all about a couple of teams, and one in particular that I continue to watch the Bills in these moments get outcoached. And that's my worry. That they do have a fatal flaw that
the worry
every time I go play Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, I'm going to get a play, like on 4th down, where they've got something in the holster ready for McDermott and Babich and Brady that they're not going to be ready for, and it's going to be the right play at the right time, and they're going to lose a close game because those two over there are terrifying. That's my worry.
They are better equipped to handle that play, right?
That specific, the specific play, or just the idea of
the specific play?
The specific play, yes.
Yeah.
They've seen it now.
But what you're saying is that no matter what, no matter who you have, that play is going to be schemed up, and Spagnuolo's going to have something for you.
And it's not going to be the same thing. The next time they're going to be, there's a very good chance they're going to play the Chiefs again in the playoffs this year. I don't even care where it is. It's going to be the divisional round. It's going to be the AFC Championship game, and both quarterbacks are unbelievable, and both teams are great. So guess what?
Just wait till the Chiefs miss. That's going to be great.
Or maybe that'll happen. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
It would be great.
Maybe, yeah.
Not for fear's sake. Not for fear's sake. Just for the sake that it just would be great.
I heard Mike Shope say yesterday, like, maybe he'll just decide to play baseball one year.
Yeah.
Do the Michael Jordan. So regardless, if that doesn't happen, there's a very good chance they're going to be locked in another close game, because these teams the margin is razor thin in these games. But they always come out just that little margin ahead, because they often, I think, have something dialed up in those spots that the Bills have never seen. And I'd love to see that go the other way. I'd love to see, the Bills, thinking about that game specifically, a lot of it for me was Spagnuolo with that play on 4th down, and the Bills doing something they've done all year, which is just, we're going to go left on our QB sneak. The thing you've seen a million times, we're going to just do it again.
I mean, it has worked a lot.
But that's the thing. Like, it's worked a lot. They know, the Chiefs know it's worked a lot. They know it's coming. And that, I think, is it's a minor difference, but it's a difference between the two. So, yeah, my worry is just that they're always going to come down to a close game against Kansas City, and I'm just worried that those two guys over there are always going to have the recipe that has them coming out just a little bit on top. Because that's really it, right? I don't have much worry right now about the Bills' offense, or I think the Bills' defense is going to be really good. I have no worries about the division. I have no worries about the quarterback. Like, what else am I really supposed to be that afraid of right now? There's not much.
Right. The only thing you really get to
I'm afraid of James Cook not showing up. I'm not afraid of that.
No.
Even if he didn't show up, I wouldn't be that afraid.
He did have big games.
In the AFC Championship game,
he had a big game. He had a big game against Denver.
He allows those sequences at the end to exist in the first place, because otherwise that game's a 2-score game. if James Cook doesn't barrel through a guy that's bigger than him at the goal line and find a way into the end zone.
Dive and reach over the goal line. Right. It was a great play.
So if I were to keep it to the Bills roster and their, their internal part of this for this discussion, I don't know. I would get to their defensive line again, maybe not being.
But that's a thing for me.
Great.
Like, I don't even worry about that. I don't think they had a bad defensive line last year. It wasn't great. Again, like it's the same kind of thing. There's a place where they could be better. No one would dispute that. They could be better at defensive end, and hopefully the changes they made this year make them better there. They could be better next to Ed Oliver, and hopefully the changes they made will get them better next to Ed Oliver. They could be better at receiver, and hopefully, and on and on. The big worries. Last year, safety would have been one. Mm-hmm. And this year, less so. You just hope that Cole Bishop, healthy, going to training camp, all that'll make a difference. That's something Bobby Babbage said yesterday. Bishop, he was hurt to start training camp. Mm-hmm. And that might have been part of the problem. He didn't get those reps that he needed to get. So, healthy Bishop, a part of it, and Rapp returning. Like, you just hope safety goes better than it did last year. But yeah, I guess your answer to my question is like, what has you worried? And if you want to try this on, 803-0550 is our phone number. The answer to what has you worried, the answer is the teams that have beaten you before. You're still worried about the Chiefs. I might be less worried about the Chiefs than I am some other teams. If there's one thing that I think about that...
How many other teams? Can't be many.
Not necessarily short term, but what I get to is another team, because for 2 years it was Bills, Chiefs, Bills, Chiefs, Bills, Chiefs. And then the Ravens, I think, have firmly entered the chat, as they say.
Yeah.
So,
Cincinnati is the team that's beat them.
That's right. But
so it's hard to...
I get to other teams that will, finger quotes here, enter the chat. Mm-hmm. In the next 5 years, does New England become a legitimate contender? I mean, no one would say they are right now, but that's in the range of possibilities. Does Jacksonville find a level because Liam Cohen unlocks a Trevor Lawrence that we've yet to really see from a productivity standpoint? Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, who would have said the Commanders were a team to worry about?
No.
Absolutely no one.
Nope.
Guess what? Now it looks like if you're in the NFC, they look like they've arrived. 4 years ago, who would have said this about the Lions? Nobody. Mm-hmm. Now the Lions are the class of the NFC. So, it's constantly changing, and I don't think anybody should expect it to just be Bills Chiefs with the occasional Ravens for the next 7 years. Someone else will come up. Who will that be? Time will tell. Will that be the Chargers? Because Jim Harbaugh does win everywhere he goes. So It's a little bit of that's kind of where this year feels like a big one. The division is yours. It should be yours. If New England is a surprise, chances are they surprise with 11, not 14 wins, right?
Yeah, not
14. 11 would be, wow, what a year for them. And looking at your schedule, looking at all your toughest games being at home, it's the kind of picture you'd paint to say, like, all right, this is the year. It's kind of set up for you to get to the playoffs and be in the best spot you can be. Ron in Alden is up. Hey, Ron, good morning.
Good morning, guys. When we first drafted Kincaid, there's a lot of talk of maybe he's the next Kelsey. People say that kind of stuff all the time. But I think the flaw I see is from the coaching, the way they use him. I feel that they get much more use out of him, and it just seems like he's an afterthought a lot of times. And I'll just see what you guys think about that. Thank you.
It's one thing I wonder about when Brady was talking about, production has nothing to do with everybody eats. There's a lot of different, to me, there's like two different ways to interpret that. One is we don't care who produces because everybody is going to be a part of this offense. And that's kind of how I think most people adopted it. To me, a very small difference in the way that you would say that is, sure, everybody's going to produce, but your job is not to aim for that. It's for every player to buy into their specific job while everybody is part of the offense. And for me, Kincaid is central to this. Will they scheme him, engineer him touches the way that they do for Shakir? Like, Shakir gets engineered touches in a game. We don't talk about it as forcing the ball to him, but they run him screens, and there's a reason he's one of the top receivers in the league in yards after catch, and that's because yards before catch, he is one of the leaders in the league in terms of like, not going very far. Hey, Josh, throw it to him. Bang. He's a yards after catch monster. Let's engineer him some touches in space to make some plays. Who else on this roster will deserve that? I think Kincaid could. Coleman was a great yak player. I want to see if they engineer touches for him in the same way. But, Kincaid being Kelsey, you got a long way to go. I think Kincaid, what Kincaid is this archetype of tight end that lots of teams have.
A lot of teams have it, and I question how much I even want them to force the wrong word. Engineer him the ball.
Yeah, just
when
they engineer touches. There's no doubt they do that for Shakir.
Shakir, though, I don't know. Like, the difference there might be Shakir is supposed to be a yak guy, right? Like, he is dangerous with the ball in his hands. Not to say he's not also a good route runner from the slot. But he's not somebody where if you were just going to line him up and let them go run their routes and throw no screens and throw nothing, within a couple yards of the line of scrimmage, that you would expect to be like a major difference maker. He'd be pretty good, I'm sure, but you wouldn't see some of these special plays that he makes are plays that off the snap, before the snap even goes, this ball is going to Khalil Shakir. It's not 5 guys are running routes and Shakir happens to be the one that's open. There are some of those too, but that's not supposed to be Kincaid. Isn't Kincaid supposed to be the guy where he might be read number 1, which you could qualify that as, well, that play is designed to go to him because Josh's first read is going to be to him. But isn't he supposed to be, everyone's running their routes, it's a pass play, it's a levels play where I got a guy going over top of him, maybe a guy going underneath him, and he's in the middle, and he shakes the linebacker loose, or he's bigger than the nickel corner, so his command of the ball is he's the most open player on the play. That's supposed to be through him, isn't it? That's not, I'm throwing him a ball at the line of scrimmage and watching him go. That's not his value. His value, I thought, was supposed to be everyone runs and their routes, and he's the best option out there. And that, to me, is more on him than it is on Joe Brady. And it's also on Allen, because Allen did miss him a lot last year. There might have been more of that happening than we realized, and Allen just missed him.
He missed him a lot, yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know. Forcing him the ball, engineering him the ball, like, when Kelsey catches the ball from Mahomes, isn't it just more like the two are just symbiotic with like spacing and where the guy's going to be and finding an open hole? Like that, sometimes it feels like Kelsey does a little bit of the Stevie Johnson, where he runs more of a route concept than he runs a route. Like
that's the chemistry. That's something.
That's the chemistry between the two.
That's
right?
The incredible chemistry, and that's what Kincaid and Allen did not really have last year. That hopefully can return.
Right, where those plays where Kincaid, you're supposed to run this route, but as the play develops, you notice that something else is open, so you sit in that open hole, and Josh is on the same mind meld with you, and that's when you get the ball. Like those are the types of plays that I don't really see a lot between the two, and that's very different to me than route designs and play designs and Brady having an idea before the snap of who's going to get the ball in this play. So I think there's a long way to go. You could argue right now that the chemistry between those two is worse than any two on the team because of the uncatchable target rate.
Yeah. The NBA, it's funny, we opened the show today talking about maybe we're guilty of making everything about the Bills and everything about Allen. Like, hey, if McDavid wins, does that feel like a win for the Allen type of player? He's clearly one of the best. He should have one.
Yeah.
How about the NBA Finals for this? Oklahoma City and Indiana, a team winning its first title. Is that like Bills and Lions in the Super Bowl? Someone's going to get there first.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be Oklahoma City in this case.
When's the last time two teams played in the Super Bowl that had never won?
Oh. That's an instant trivia question. The last time two teams had played in the Super Bowl
that had never won.
Like
right, you're about to see in the NBA Finals.
Right. So you're going back, boy.
Problem is Kansas City and New England have been in it so often.
That's right. That's right.
The Chiefs, and the first time the Chiefs played, the Niners were the other team, so that doesn't help.
It's
the
funny.
Chiefs won way back when anyway, didn't they?
I'm going all the way back to 1986 Giants Broncos, and now moving forward from there, because neither of those teams had won it before then.
And that's a long time ago.
There's definitely going to be one. There's definitely going to be one before then, like Seattle. No, okay, Seattle played Pittsburgh. This is fun. Somebody get the answer. You guys got somebody look it up. Of course, like Owen or Evan, get that answer. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking at a list of Super Bowls, and I'm 10 years back, and I don't see anything yet. Yeah.
New England played the Rams in 2001.
But the Rams had already won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So
I'm just working through it. Here. The Saints and the Colts.
No, the Colts had just won a couple years before, and they
Okay.
beat the Bears, who had won in '85. So
Okay.
that doesn't work. Pittsburgh and Arizona doesn't work. Pittsburgh and Seattle doesn't work. New England and Philadelphia, no. New England playing the Rams in the first one is what ruins this. Bucks and Raiders had won.
Yep.
Ravens and Giants, the Giants had won. Okay, here we go.
Hold on.
What's the first Rams Super Bowl?
The first win?
Do they win before playing the Titans? They played
No,
the Titans
Titans was their first
in
Super Bowl.
1999. So that
Rams Titans 99.
that's going to be the answer, I think. Yeah, 25 years ago.
Okay.
Rams and Titans. Pretty rare then.
How about who's the last team to win their first? Just win their first. Because it's been Bucks, Chiefs, Eagles.
I think
Is
the
it
Eagles' first one against the
2017.
Patriots. Yeah. I think that was probably the last time a
Kansas
team won
City?
it first.
Kansas City.
No,
they won back
because
early, like one of the first four.
Did they?
Yeah, they won Super Bowl IV.
Yep, there it is, over Minnesota. All right, so yeah, Eagles.
2017.